Hello all, good afternoon. My name is Sarah Kaddu from Uganda, a library and information science educator and President Uganda Library and Information Association. I'm your today's moderator. As you may be aware, this is the second day of the webinar. We started the webinar yesterday with 5 most useful apps presented by Mehdi, who was our facilitator. Today, we are going to discuss the 5 remaining apps by our resource person and facilitator, Mr. Ruti, Dauphin. I'm happy to introduce to you Mr. Ruti in the next few minutes. But before I do that, I need to bring your attention a number of things. One, we shall have a question and answer session at the end of the presentation, and our presentation is expected to last 45 minutes, after which we receive your questions. Kindly be reminded to post your questions to the Q&A section, and you can also take advantage of the chat room that we have. We shall be able to respond to all your questions as they come. Also be reminded that the webinar materials will be circulated to you at the end of the webinar. We shall also be sending you the webinar feedback form that will help us improve the future webinars. And 3, a certificate of participation will be issued to you. If you've at least attended half of the sessions of the 2 days, you'll be entitled to a certificate of participation. We might appreciate that the world keeps changing and the way things are done also change, including the way we manage our information. So this calls for updating our knowledge and skills so that we are able to cope with the changing environment. And we should thank AFLIA for putting this into consideration and updating us on the knowledge and skills we need to manage the changing environment in which we operate. I wish also to remind you about the 5 apps that we discussed yesterday. They included the Google Scholar, the Wikipedia, e-readers, Zoho Creator, and also becoming a programmer. From your questions that you posed, it indicated that they are quite interesting, and we are looking forward to another interesting session this afternoon. At this point, allow me to welcome our facilitator, Mr. Ruti Dauphin. Mr. Ruti holds a Bachelor of Science in Computer Science and MicroMasters in Cybersecurity from Rochester Institute of Technology in New York, and is currently working with the African Leadership University in Rwanda. Mr. Ruti, you're welcome to present to the participants.
Thank you very much, Sarah. Welcome, everyone. I hope you can all hear me. My name is Ruti, and I'll be guiding us through this session today. So without further ado, I would like to mention that today's application that we'll be looking at are mostly for productivity use, and feel free to mention other apps by the end of these sessions. So I'm gonna go ahead and use this captions tool for people who are probably struggling with listening to what I'm saying, so that they can get wording of what I'm saying. All right. Today we're gonna be talking about GSuite. As my colleague Mehdi yesterday mentioned, now Google is basically everywhere and anywhere. So, and it wouldn't be almost impossible. It would be almost impossible to talk anything about tech related without mentioning Google. So we'll talk about GSuite and its different components. And I hope that you get to enjoy and pose questions and comments. Secondly, we'll talk about Canva. Canva, which is a tool that is used for design. So either you're designing like posters or you're working on, designing a cool cover page. Anything that is related is related to design. I can see the usage of this in libraries already, like, designing different posters that are needed, or, this new research paper that we're working on and you want to, have a very captivative cover page, right? After that, we'll talk about OBS, which stands for Open Source Broadcasting Software. This one is used basically to video recording, video editing, but most importantly, live streaming. So this is something that can be used in, let's say, for example, live streaming on YouTube. You have a new cool software or anything you want to show to your users live. They don't have to be there. You don't have to, book an event location. Sorry, you can definitely use this tool. After that, we'll wrap up and have a Q&A sessions, and I'll share the resources afterwards. All right, let's dig in. So the first app we'll talk about today, or the component of GSuite, will be Docs, but I'll try to get most of the applications all together so that we can see how they work together. So the format or the structure of this presentation is gonna be throughout the same. Basically, we'll talk, getting started. We'll have components, decide different components of the tool. We'll have a demo, and then we'll have learning outcomes. All right, let's start with Docs and Forms, Google Forms and Google Sheets. I'm gonna switch over to my other screen. Excuse me. All right, so I would like this session to be interactive. I will talk about tools, but also I'd like you to have a feel of how it works. So Google Docs is a word processing application, basically like Google, like Microsoft Office Docs. I'm sure most of us are familiar with that. The advantage that it brings on the table is that it's collaboration side of it. So basically, this means that you can be able to collaborate on one document on the go. That means in real time. So we have a team of 5 people. They're working on the same document, so you don't have to send it to one person, wait them to edit or get feedback, and then they send it again. It consumes time and it's not efficient. So with Google Docs and today's session, I'd like everyone here who can, I'm gonna paste this link on the chat room of the Zoom. And if you have a Gmail account already logged in, please, you can be able to edit this file that I'm about to share with you. If you can give me a second. All right. So the file that we're looking at is this one, right? So I'm gonna wait a bit to see who's gonna be able to edit their names. If you can just, click on that link, it should be easy for everyone to get on and edit. I'll wait for 2 minutes. Sorry, I think I pasted in the wrong place. Okay. Can everyone see it? All right. I can already see Molu writing their name. You can, if everyone has access to the video feed of Zoom, you can see people already editing. So make sure you don't delete most of the things, but that should be all right. This is not a document that is very sensitive. So I hope that everyone can see how this is done. You can even send comments, feedback, whichever you like, right? All right. Let's move on. So we'll go. So we've kind of seen what docs can do. So also to mention that this is gonna be like the tip of the iceberg of what docs, forms, and sheets can do really. If we were to go really deeply, I'm afraid we'll need more time with that than what we have right now. But I'll try to cover the most important aspects of each app. I can see someone already deleted everything. So another thing that I can mention here that is important, if let's say, for example, we had a whole text, it's gone, you can always come here and check the timeline of your document, right? So you can see that all anonymous users here, you can see when was this deleted, right? You can see when this was the original file, and you can see here basically when nothing was on the file, right? So you can go back in time and restore whatever is missing. All right, so I hope this is understood. Let's move on to Google Forms, right? Just give me a second. All right, so we have a Google form. I'm gonna create a quick Google form. You can always come here, new, and click on Google form, but I have one that I've already set to use. I'm just gonna show you how it's easy. So for example, if we're trying to get data collection from people, let's say, for example, favorite books, right? And option 1, okay, so I'm gonna choose multiple choice. Just option 1, okay, I'm gonna have demo 1, demo 2, and demo 3. Let me just copy, Control C, Control V. As of now, you can already send this information. You can send this form to people. So by basically you can send via email, or you can share the link here. All right. So I've already created a Google form for that. We're gonna use it for web registration. So what we need really is to get on this. You write your name and then surname. All right. Let me share the link with you on the chat room. Struggling a bit to click. Okay. All right. Copy. All right. So as soon as people start registering, I will have more responses here. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's see what tools that we can use. How we can use this basically to collect information and have visibility. Is the link available to everyone? Okay, sorry. I just realized I hadn't sent the link to everyone. Sorry about that. Can everyone now see the link? All right, thank you. I can see already responses coming in, which is good. So we can see already people sending names. So this is a Google form we use to collect that data, right? So, okay, all right, which is great. Please continue putting that in. So if you go here, you can see the view responses in sheet. I have it already opened. So I'm gonna just reload it. So I can see already people and the time stamp of people logging in, right? All right. So hope this we will have a recap of what all of this is used for. In the design of the Google form, you can see this little star. This is to make a field required. So no one will be able to respond if this was made a required and you skipped it. So you have to come back and fill in the form, the information for you to be able to submit it. All right. After this, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna ask you again to fill in the form, another form. So this one is about your favorite books. So I just created introduction, chapter, module, unit, and episode. You don't have to choose so you can choose one of them. Obviously, they're not books, but it's just for demo purposes. I'm gonna go ahead and share this link as well. Okay. All right. Can everyone see the link? All right, thank you. Okay, so I'm gonna open up so you've seen that in our webinar registration, in the responses, we have already a Google Sheet created automatically. I didn't have to do anything about it. And everyone who's putting their names, it's automatically being updated. So now with the favorite book, I'm gonna go ahead and check its Google Sheet. I can already see people choosing what book they like. So this is great, right? So in terms of Google Sheet, I would like to mention something called to create charts or to make the data presentable and easy to digest by the users. Let's say, for example, you have a book that is on trend in your library and you want all the people to know about it, and you have to give a platform to people to talk about their best book. So you can come in here, create such a form, and then collect all the data here and be able to present all the data. So I'm gonna make a chart from this data. All you have to do is just select, and then click on insert, and then click on chart. Once you click on chart, you'll see, so this came up, but once you double click it, you'll see a side menu bar. And here I'm gonna go ahead and click the pie chart. It's my favorite so far. So from now on, you can see that chapter is gaining 40%, episode has 12%, introduction has 28%, and this information will be updated automatically as people keep submitting their forms, right? Okay, so this is one of the usage of Google Sheets. Google Sheets is big. Basically, it's like Microsoft Excel, but you also have the availability of, or the feature of collaboration. People can still collaborate on this like we collaborated on the Google Docs. And to sum it all, we'll go to calendar. I would like to talk about calendar. After calendar, then we'll go on and sum it all in what is called Google Drive and Google Sites, right? On calendar is a very great tool that I basically use to keep track of my agendas of what am I supposed to do, where exactly am I supposed to be, and who am I gonna be doing what. So this can be your personal reminder. This can be something that you use to plan your day ahead. It's really great, right? And the other good thing that I can talk about is being able to receive notification 10 minutes before the event happens, or 10 minutes before I have to do whatever I had set myself to do. So you don't get to miss meetings because you forgot about it, or you don't even get to be late in meetings because you didn't remember about it. Okay, so for this to be able to have full functionality, because this is a personal user, this is my Gmail account, I'm gonna go ahead and log into my work email address, which is this one, and then I'll go to my calendar to show you what kind of other tools that I can use within Google Calendar. So if you look here, you see a little camera. So this means you can set up a medium of communication. So in this case, it has to be Google Hangouts. In other cases, you can even add Zoom or other online conferencing tools. So it's not dedicated only for Google Hangouts. If you look at the guest list, you can add people. I'm gonna go ahead, I'll add people with my other account, and you can add rooms, right? So with rooms here, you can see that I am in Gabon. This is the room that I'm using right now. This is the naming that we have at our university, but this can be changed from institution to institution. All right. Google Calendar also can be integrated with most of other Google products, including Google Sheets or Forms or Automate.io, as my colleague mentioned yesterday. All right. We'll go then, after you've created all your files and forms and sheets and docs, then you have to save them. So where do we save them? We save them in Google Drive, right? So Google Drive is your cloud storage. Basically how you have your local computer and then you can save things on it, same way that you can save your documents or actually any file to the cloud. So people can relate this to OneDrive, Microsoft's OneDrive, or Dropbox, or even Mega. So those basically offer almost the same kind of service. So here you can be able to set permissions, share. If I click on share here, I can set permissions, okay, with whom I want to share that. Let's say, for example, Aflia demo. I created this email for this session, and then you can set what kind of permissions. So they can edit, or can they comment, or they can only view. So for example, if you're working with someone, you want them to see what you're working on, but you don't want them to change anything, you can set the permission to can view only, right? All right. So Google Drive is where we share everything, right? So in GSuite, you have the ability also to create, oops, sorry. you have the ability to create team drives, which are also great. You can basically understand team drive as a shared flash drive, right? So if you have a common flash drive that you share with your colleagues and you put all work-related documents there so that everyone has access to that, it's exactly what team drive is. So you have a manager for that team drive who can invite and remove people from that team drive, but I don't have access to one right now. So it's something that if time allows, I'll get back to. Okay, so let's now head to the most exciting part of today, which is Google Sites, right? I'd like everyone to go to this link. Just give me a second. Okay. All right. I'm seeing someone saying the opinion is on for a person to submit more than one response. You can change the settings on that without a problem. All right. So I hope everyone has the link to the Aflia demo site. Yeah. Is it blank? I hope it's blank, right? All right, thank you so much. All right, so we're gonna set up a Google site. So this is a way for people to be able to publish their website, like without coding anything, as my colleague has said before, right? So what we're gonna do, I'm gonna create this site. I can add something quickly, but first of all, let's add the header. I'm gonna upload an image. I have an image from Aflia already. Okay. Open. I can call this demo webinar. All right. We'll add some pictures. I hope everyone can see that there is no, there's no code. I'm not writing any code right now. Oops. All right. Can add some text here. Tests 1, 2, 3. Lorem ipsum. Okay, so you can put basically anything here, right? Okay, so on the second part of this, I'm gonna add the Google Docs that we had, the one that we're trying to have everyone edit. I hope, okay, looks like it's gone, but we can bring it back. So I'm gonna restore this version, restore. Okay, it's back. And I'm gonna put it up there on the site. So from here, I'm gonna add this page, insert. So basically you can have this page and people edit and people can see it in real time, right? Okay. So after that, I'm gonna add, okay, still have some time. I'm gonna add a Google form. I'm sorry, I meant to add, a Google Sheet, the one that we use for registration. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna make it a bit small. And then we're gonna bring up the Google charts that we had. The one that we created for books. All right, just click on that, click on it, yes, here. You can move these boxes around as you wish. Just give me a second. Can move it here. All right. Okay. So you have your Google Sheet here that will be updated in real time. You have your Google chart here as well that also be updated as people keep submitting their information. All right, something else we can add maybe. Okay, let's maybe add a button. I'm gonna call it Aflia, and it's gonna be linking to the Aflia website. Just give me a second. Aflia.net. Okay. Insert. Okay. So I'm gonna move it on the top, somewhere here. All right. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna publish this. So basically saving, I'm gonna actually delete this. Basically publish it. So we've made some changes on our webpage. Could you please go ahead and reload the page that was shared? And let me know if anything has been appeared on from what we just did. All right. I hope you like it. Basically, what you can do here, it's limitless. You can basically design your. Just to mention what I did here. I didn't pay any money. It's just you drag and drop things, and it's great. Let's say, for example, your library doesn't have a website for the moment, or you want something internal where people can just log in and see the page, the kind of information that you want to share with them. This is something that can be useful, including sharing the information of your library. I'm gonna go ahead and see what it looks like. View published site. Test. Okay. All right, the form will come up in a second, and yes. For example, if I changed the name on the form, on the docs, this will definitely appear. Okay, just gonna delete that, and let's go back to the page and see if anything has changed. I'm just gonna reload it. Okay, it has disappeared as well. So even the chat, as people keep coming in, you can even scroll down and see who's registered and which favorite books people like. All right, I think I'm running a bit out of time. I'm gonna go ahead to the next session, which is which is Gmail and Hangouts. On Gmail, I'm pretty sure everyone here has used email already, and everyone, I feel like they're comfortable using it. What I can say with the new Gmail is the functionality of making the email read without even opening it and snoozing. So this snooze, if I click on it, it will remind me to read about this email maybe next week, or the pick a date and time, which I find fascinating as well. If I quickly go ahead to the Hangouts section, I'm gonna write to the Aflia demo email that I created before. I'm sure everyone here understands this, but it's worth mentioning. So with this, I can say, okay, test one. I'm gonna send. Okay, from this other email or the affiliate account that I created, you can already see that I've seen the message. You can then call, you can also add people to this chat group. Okay, I hope this was helpful. So the learning outcomes or the takeaways is that GSuite has a lot of collaboration and data collection tools that we can use. It also helps within communication and publication, as we saw in Hangouts and Google Sites. It's available on all the platforms, including the web. So that means through your web browser, to Chrome, Google, to Android devices, to Apple devices, both Mac and iOS, to Linux and Windows. The pricing for personal use it's free. For the GSuite business, it's $10 per user per month. So it's a bit expensive for most of institutions. I'd say that are in this conversation. Okay, so our next one is Canva. Canva, it's used to for designing and publishing, but mostly designing. Let's say, for example, as I said, you're trying to design a cover page. It's really good. So I'm gonna go ahead and log into Canva. If you don't have, if you're not subscribed on Canva already, you can use Setup with email, or you can just use Google to log in. So I'm gonna go ahead and click on login, and then I'll use my Google account to log in. And then I'll use my personal Gmail account to log in. Okay, and here I am in. You can see my name here. So we're gonna create something small, a bit just quickly, and just to highlight the usage of Canva and how it can be useful in your daily work. All right, the first, just check if no messages, okay. All right, we're gonna create a design. You can select from pre-designs that are available. Most of them are free. Some are for you have to pay for them. But if you take your time, most of these themes are free, and the ones that are for sale, you can at least on my own, I can just create them. You just take about 1 hour or two, and you can create a very nice design. Okay. We just clicked on Instagram poster, but I'm gonna change that to okay, logo, not really, on A4 document. So one of the motto of Canva is less is more, which means basically that while you're designing anything, making the content less, it's much better than just crowding your page with a lot of information. Right? So I'm gonna create a small table of content. I think I still have some time. Yes, you can choose. So you can choose from here, and basically this is available to anyone, and you can use this design. You can change the wording here, like, and put affiliate. Here you can change webinar, something. Most of these are free, but let's use our own. Let's create our own. Okay. Just gonna go ahead and click on that A4 again. Okay, much easier is I'm just gonna delete everything here. Okay, so we have a blank page. To start, you can start with choosing the background of the page. I'm gonna choose this one. Looks good. Okay, I'm gonna get some text on this. So you click here on text. You can add heading. Gonna add table of content. I'm gonna change the color of this. Then the size a bit, make it a bit bigger. And then turn it a bit. Okay. Give me a second. Move it here. I'm using shifts and arrow keys. I'm gonna try to pull it down here and to the other side. Okay. Here we have table of content. We're gonna add some more text. Content. Just move it here. Change some Montserrat. Okay. It's already changed, and then here you can just come in and add. So I'm gonna add some text here. Demo one. I'm just gonna copy this and paste, just to move a bit faster. Okay, this can be table of content, something, and it can be useful for you just to have something to design with, to start the design with. It's taking a bit of time. Okay, so you can add some images. Let me get an image or photos. Even this, you can add some, okay, just to make it look nicer. Control C, Control V. All right. Let's see an image that we can use here. I'm gonna make it big, look big, this big. And here you can see it already covered up the contents part of the table content. So to make the content appear again, we have to send this to the back. Which is position. I'm sorry, I'm not sure if you can see this, but you click on send it backwards, right? And then you can even come here and set the transparency. So so that it looks a bit nicer, right? Okay, so this is it for you. You can basically do unlimited things with Canva right now. If we had more time, we'll be able to cover that. All right, so the learning outcomes of Canva is that we can use it for cover pages and posters. The less is more, so you don't have to cramp up your pages with a lot of content. It's available on the web, on Android and iOS devices as well, for free. It's also free, and it has in-purchase, as I said, with themes that you have to purchase. All right, so let's go to OBS, which is open source broadcasting software. Right? If you've ever wondered how do people do when they're trying to live stream their YouTube channels, or even record their screen, or all those fancy video editing things, you can do it with OBS. I'm gonna go ahead and okay, and open my OBS. Just give me a second. I can't reach my bar. Okay, I'm gonna pause a bit to get to my OBS. I'll share in a few. Just give me a second. Okay. All right, I have OBS open right now. Share screen. Can everyone see my screen right now? All right. Okay, so with OBS, I'm sorry we're running out of time, but with OBS it has scenes. Basically, you can create scenes which has sources, so that's where the OBS is getting information from. I'm sorry, right now it's crowded with a lot of screens that reflects each other. With the sources, and then with controls, you can start streaming. You can start recording, audio modes, settings, and exit. So to go straight to this, I'm late 2 minutes already. I'm gonna touch base on adding sources on the scene, right? So this one is blank right now. So if I were to share or to start streaming, nothing will appear. So this scene one, I'm gonna add sources. I'm gonna add video capture. You can do video capture. So, or the window capture. Basically, the window capture means it will capture everything on my screen, right? Okay, click OK. Not sure what's going on, but let me add something else. Video, create new, and here. So here, if for example you're trying to stream a video within your YouTube live streaming, you can do it. You can do so by adding the source. I'll click on add file. I'll click on this video. Not sure what it is, but it's okay. And then I'll add it. So it's right now playing. I think this is a screen record that I did on my screen earlier. All right. So this is how you add sources. Let's add some text. Text. Okay, create new text. Okay. So you type in text here, demo Aflia webinar. Okay, so it's here. You can make it bigger or smaller, and you can place it anywhere you want on the screen or the video, and then you can make it appear or disappear just by hitting this. Let me just quickly check if everyone is able to see what I'm doing. Is everyone able to see what I'm doing? All right, okay. Apologies for taking a bit long. Okay, so here again, the sources it's a lot that you can choose from, right? You can choose color source, you can choose anything. So let's say, for example, you want to see what we're seeing right now, but you want to have another scene, right? Let's say Slack channel. So with this Slack channel, if you look at this, it's the sources that we have, which includes the video capture, right? This one that is here, that's why you're able to see my face. If you are able to, you want to disappear, then I can just click on this and then I'll disappear. If I want to reappear again, I can just click on that. All right, let me quickly go to the streaming part of it. Before we go there, I would like everyone to have YouTube open. I'm gonna share the link. Copy link address. And then I'm gonna share it with you. And then please share the search for Ruti Dauphin live stream on YouTube. All right, so this is my dashboard on YouTube already. I have already set it up before, but to do that on OBS, you just need to come here. Just need to come here to settings and then go to stream, and you have to choose your service. If it's streaming or custom streaming server, YouTube or /YouTube gaming, primary, and then this stream key. The stream key, if anyone has this, they can take over your channel. So you better hide it very well. And this stream key also comes from here. It comes from YouTube itself, right? So it's here. I copied it from here, and then I pasted it here. All right. So I'm gonna hit start streaming. It's connecting. Okay, I think we're now good to go. It's saying starting streaming health is here. If you guys are able to search on YouTube and look for Ruti Dauphin live streaming, you can be able to see this webinar live. Quick check. All right. Is anyone able to see the live streaming? All right, great. Although on my screen it's a bit it's saying that 0 people are watching. All right, so you can see that this is the screen I have on my OBS here. So if I was to change the scenes, I can just click on this scene, which has the sources that we chose to show here. It's gonna show up on YouTube in a minute. Sure, if people, I can see that now it's online. So people who are able to see the live stream on YouTube, are able also to see this video playing. All right, so this is the iceberg, the tip of the iceberg. More can be discussed on each and every tool, and it will take some time. So we're gonna go ahead and learn about the outcomes of the OBS. The most important components of OBS are scenes and sources. The streaming and recording, which is very key to this software. The platform, it can be installed on Linux. As you can tell, I'm using Linux. It can be installed on Apple OS Mac. It can also be installed on Windows. So basically, most of the popular operating system are covered. Excuse me. Pricing is free and is open source. So it means anyone can basically get their hands on this OBS. All right, sorry I'm late 10 minutes. Time for Q&As. I'll head over to the moderator. Sarah, if you can take over.
I'm sure the participants have enjoyed the presentation the same way I've done. I didn't know that actually there was a lot to learn from these apps. They are quite very interesting. It's good that every year chose on this particular theme to be presented. There are a number of questions that have come in from the Q&A and a few from the chat that I wish to guide you on. The participants are asking to advise them on how to effectively use Microsoft Calendar. They realize that in the process of using it, it disorganizes other apps on their phones. So how do you go about effectively using the calendar without going into this mess? Another question is about the OBS. They are asking if it's part of the GSuite package. And another one, which I believe you could just address straight away, is whether there is a web address for Canva. And another one is, maybe you could take just a few of them before we proceed. You could start with those three. Back to you, Ruti. Maybe as we get Ruti back, it looks like Ruti is not yet back.
Sorry, I was muted. Sorry.
Okay, Ruti is here. Go ahead, please. Yeah. Could you take the first three questions?
Okay, so the question about Microsoft
please, could
Calendar.
you take the first three questions?
Yes, yes. About the Microsoft Calendar, I'm not familiar with Microsoft Calendar, to be honest. So today's session was about Google Calendar, but I'm sure that it can go hand in hand. So it's always, at least for Android users, if you're using multiple calendars, including Microsoft Calendar, it might be a bit messy, as you said, but I'll advise that you stick with one product. So if it's Google, then it's better that you use most of your tasks or calendar events with Google Calendar. And if it's Microsoft, then also you can definitely use that. I don't know a lot of people who uses Microsoft Calendar, but maybe it was a confusion between Microsoft and Google Calendar. The second question is OBS part of GSuite? No, OBS is an independent project which is not part of GSuite. So yeah, it's basically not part of GSuite. I'll share the resources after this presentation to see what kind of project it is. Could you please remind me what the third question was?
And the third question was, could you guide them on the participants on the web address for Canva?
Oh, okay. Canva, I will also share the resources for Canva, but it's simple. It's canva.com. Let me see if I have it open here. The web address is canva.com. If you can just type in canva.com. I'm gonna also share it in the chat room. Yeah, we can take the other questions, please.
More questions to come to you, Ruti.
Yes.
Can Canva also be used for presentations the same way you did for the GSuite? And are there other different versions of Canva?
Definitely, Canva can be used.
Because they are related.
Yes, Canva can be used to design presentation slides. I'm afraid it cannot handle the animations, the part of the presentation that I was using, such as this. But definitely, I actually designed the first draft of this presentation. I designed it on Canva. And there are no other versions of Canva, just to make things clear. It's just one product. So you log into Canva and then you have access to different themes and different designs. Yes.
All right, thank you so much. The other question is on advising on how to acquire a GSuite. And also the steps, they need steps in getting started with the OBS.
All right, it's still part of the resources that I'm gonna share. To join GSuite, you just basically, you go in Google and type in GSuite subscription. It will bring up different kinds of solutions that you can use. And in addition to that, they give you 14 days to try out GSuite without paying any money. So, but for you to be able to do that, you need at least a valid credit card. You can just put in, you can submit the information of the credit card, and after the 14 days or 13 days, you cancel the subscription while you're experiencing and trying out the GSuite. After that, the price is $10 per user per month. So if it's a big organization or it's a lot of people, it might take a lot of budget to plan for.
Okay, thank you so much. Another question is, how can we get the OBS app and apply it as part of our library management software for better service delivery?
All right, so OBS is freely available online. You can just download it. Either you use Windows, Microsoft Windows, or you use Apple macOS, or you use Linux. It's different how you install it. For example, on Linux, you can use the command line interface, or you can just download it on Windows and just double click. It's very easy and intuitive. It will guide you through very easily. How can you use it in your daily work as a librarian? It's quite straightforward. Let's say, for example, you're trying to educate people on how to use libraries, or you having this campaign coming up of new books in the library. You can definitely use it to record videos, which is content also that can be used as in the library. You can use it for live streaming for people who are not around to attend events, and in many different ways.
There is a question that reads, I just observed that as the facilitator is replying the questions, they are typed out so that we can see his replies. Please, what app is he using to reply? And the words are showing.
Yeah, it's just the beauty of GSuite. I didn't do any fancy thing. As I hit present on Google Slides, there is this little button that says captions. If I click on it, it will start getting my words and making them appear on the screen. But you have to be an English speaker to be able to use this functionality. I can just give you a simple demo.
Thank you so much.
If I unclick on this, you won't be able to see my words again. Yeah, I can still talk, but nothing. If I click on it again, the words will start coming up again. Thanks.
All right, now we can proceed with the rest of the questions. There was a question that came from one of the participants, observing that you gave the link address to a demo. And the demo is of the site. There was just a link to the demonstration you provided. So the question is, how can I create one? Probably something similar to what you demonstrated. And the question is coming from Amusa.
Yeah, it's quite easy. You just log into sites.google.com. If you have a Gmail account already, it will direct you to things that you need to do. Basically, they'll tell you to create a new site. Click here. You'll then see that dashboard that has buttons. All the structure that you can use to create the website. You just need to go to sites.google.com. I'll put that in the resources page. I can go ahead with the Edger T2 question. How much is for Canva? Canva is free. All you get to pay is the in-purchase, what they call in-purchase. Basically, the application is free, but there are some components in the application that you have to pay for it. If I can give you an example of what we're using, what we're working with, I go to templates. You can see that most of them say free here. There are some that are not free. Let me see if I can get any that's not free. But well, as you can tell, most of them are free. Okay. This is good, but also bad for my demo. I can't have anything that costs money, but most of them are free, which is also even better. Yeah. Basically, if you want to use a template, you'll see something that you have to pay for, and that's the only fees that you have to pay for in terms of Canva. So let's say, for example, this one, it doesn't have the free small thing here. Not sure if people are actually able to see what I'm talking about. My screen is very small. Yeah, if we use this one, let's try to click on this one. Okay. Oh, so this one says Canva remove watermarks. So if you remove watermarks, they will ask you to pay for a premium image, right? But also you can upgrade here. So most of Canva is free, but you can also upgrade to the version that you have to pay for. So let's say try Canva for free 30 days. If we click there, you can see the pricing. So monthly it's $13. Yearly is almost $10 a month, but then you get to be billed by year. So $120. But in my own experience, I don't have to pay for this. You have enough of content that you can use for free.
Ruti, the same question has reappeared. I'm not so sure if you have shared with us the site for OBS.
It will be shared on the resources pages. But I mean, I can just open it right now. It's called obsproject.com. Let me just send it on Zoom. Okay, just sent.
Great. The last question that I have, when I've tried to run through all the questions, and I think we have two questions. One is for you and one is for Ntabi, who promised to answer it. The question to you reads, what additional equipment is needed for live streaming? And maybe as Ntabi gets ready to answer the question.
All right, so to be, yeah, you feel like people who do live streaming, they have this, fancy equipment, tons of cameras. But to be honest, right now, what I'm using is just my laptop and that OBS. Nothing in additional, nothing else. That's it. Your laptop and the software, and you're good to go.
Great.
I can go ahead with the Edger T2 question. How much is for Canva? Canva is free. All you get to pay is the in-purchase, what they call in-purchase. Basically, the application is free, but there are some components in the application that you have to pay for it. If I can give you an example of what we're using, what we're working with, I go to templates. You can see that most of them say free here. There are some that are not free. Let me see if I can get any that's not free. But well, as you can tell, most of them are free. Okay. This is good, but also bad for my demo. I can't have anything that costs money, but most of them are free, which is also even better. Yeah. Basically, if you want to use a template, you'll see something that you have to pay for, and that's the only fees that you have to pay for in terms of Canva. So let's say, for example, this one, it doesn't have the free small thing here. Not sure if people are actually able to see what I'm talking about. My screen is very small. Yeah, if we use this one, let's try to click on this one. Okay. Oh, so this one says Canva remove watermarks. So if you remove watermarks, they will ask you to pay for a premium image, right? But also you can upgrade here. So most of Canva is free, but you can also upgrade to the version that you have to pay for. So let's say try Canva for free 30 days. If we click there, you can see the pricing. So monthly it's $13. Yearly is almost $10 a month, but then you get to be billed by year. So $120. But in my own experience, I don't have to pay for this. You have enough of content that you can use for free.
Ruti, the same question has reappeared. I'm not so sure if you have shared with us the site for OBS.
It will be shared on the resources pages. But I mean, I can just open it right now. It's called obsproject.com. Let me just send it on Zoom. Okay, just sent.
Great. The last question that I have, when I've tried to run through all the
Yes.
questions, and I seem to have two questions. One is for you and one is for Ntabi, who promised to answer it. The question to you reads, what additional equipment is needed for live streaming? And maybe as Ntabi gets ready to answer the question that
All
she
right.
requested.
So to be, yeah, you feel like people who do live streaming, they have this, fancy equipment, tons of cameras. But to be honest, right now, what I'm using is just my laptop and that OBS. Nothing in additional, nothing else. That's it. Your laptop and the software, and you're good to go.
Great. And Tabi, are you around to take your question? Otherwise, we are running out of time and we need to close the webinar. I wish to say thank you to the participants, thank you to our facilitator, Ruti, and thank you to the panelists. I wish you the rest of beautiful rest of the day. Bye-bye. See you next time. I hand over now to the host.
Right. Thank you very much.